Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinka.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ, where we help you lead with purpose and succeed with impact. If you're ready to grow into the kind of leader others want to follow, this podcast is for you. If you're determined to elevate your success and leave a lasting legacy, this podcast is for you. As my mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell reminds us, everything rises and falls on leadership. Our goal is simple: to inspire you, challenge you, and equip you with insights that can transform the trajectory of your leadership journey. Welcome aboard to another episode of the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach BZ.
Hi, this is Valerie from Valerie Martinelli Consulting. We've been in business since 2016, and since that time, we have helped hundreds of job seekers just like you to find new roles, land promotions, and negotiate salary increases of upwards of $60,000 through our career coaching program. We work with professionals in many different industries. And through our career services program, we are working to educate candidates on the tech behind the hiring and how that works with the resume writing process, so you can get through the filters faster with much less time and frustration. So schedule your call today and we'll answer any questions that you have, and we'll chat and we'll go through whatever is happening with your job search. Looking forward to speaking with you very, very soon. Have a great day.
All right, everyone, this is Coach Busy, and today is Wednesday, October 29th, almost the end of the month, and I have a very, very special guest for you right on time. So before we do, I'm reminded to do a moment of gratitude. It takes less than a minute. This is the portion of the show where we just take a moment to be grateful. What are you grateful for today with all of the changes happening in the economy and our country and the world? I think it's really good to be grateful. So if you would close your eyes if you can, and put yourself in your happy place and maybe take a deep breath and think about one thing that you are grateful for. And I think for me, I am really grateful today that I am still alive. I am still here. Right? I may not have everything I want, but I am so glad I've got everything I need right now. And I am grateful for that. Please type in the comment what you are grateful for, and also let us know where you come from, which city and state, and which country if outside of the US. And also if you have a question for my guest, please let us know right now. So let me see if I can do my introduction a little justice. We're going to be talking to Coach Valerie Martinelli. She's a top career coach, LinkedIn top voice, and she's been recognized by Coach Foundation and a two-time honoree by CIO Review as one of the most promising leadership development companies, 2019 and 2021. She's also a CIA Global Award recipient by Brands Magazine and #1 international best-selling co-author of Ready, Connect, and Grow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, please let me welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast, Coach Valerie. All right, Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Good morning. Good morning. If you can
Good morning.
tell us, just to get started, what is one thing you are grateful for today?
Well, like you said, I may not have absolutely everything I want, but I am grateful to be here to chase after the things that I want, right? To wake up and open your eyes and have another day here is always a good thing to be grateful for each and every
Yes.
morning.
That is so true. And I'm still very, very grateful to be an American. No matter what's going on with the government and the direction of our country, I think we are still the best country in the world right now. But anyway, I believe tomorrow is going to be better than today eventually. So
You can only make it that way.
That's right. So, what is one thing about you that most people may not know?
My love of art.
Wow.
I love art, and I also love puzzles.
Mm,
I'm a little bit of a word nerd, a word game nerd, and a puzzle nerd. But I also love art. Art history was one of my favorite courses in college.
wow.
You would know
That's
that by talking to me.
yeah, that's really great. And do you are you also an artist? I know you do write.
No,
Okay.
no.
That's all right. Wow, that is pretty cool. I guess I was officially an artist when I was, I think, 12, 13 years old. I used to lead a band when I was a teenager. So my father registered us in the Artist Association of the Congo. That's where I was at the time. So I was a registered artist. But anyway, so to get going with this interview, I wanted to ask you. You've built an award winning coaching and consulting brand from the ground up. So that's really incredible. So, what inspired you to found Valerie Martinelli Consulting?
My love of coaching, my love of mentoring. I started
Mm,
off by coaching, mentoring young girls. I had a program when I was working for a nonprofit that was pairing up young girls with women that were coaching them and mentoring them and helping them figuring out what they wanted to do and working with them on either school projects or starting out in their career or with college. And
mhm.
I really loved it. It was something that just absolutely fulfilled me.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it was something that completely took my breath away. And I had to keep that going. It's just
Yeah.
it's a true passion for me because I love to see people succeed and win.
That is really amazing because you really do help a lot of people when you go through your LinkedIn, your post, the article, and your website. It's really phenomenal the work that you do. But when you transition, you just mentioned from public administration and nonprofit leadership into executive coaching. What lesson do you think from public service continue to guide you today?
Servant leadership.
Yes.
Servant leadership, and I'll tell you, my friend, I haven't even really let that completely go because a lot of the people that I still choose to work with now are in
Mm,
public service
yes.
and work for the government and work for the public sector and nonprofits. And don't get me wrong, I work with a lot of people in corporate as well, quite a bit. But I still do believe in this servant leadership and working with people in the public sector. Servant leadership is very, very important because we are here to serve.
Mm,
We are put here to do some good work.
yes.
And I feel like as long as we are doing that, then we're doing something fulfilling. And to me that's one of the most important things. As long as I continue to do something good,
Yes.
that makes me happy.
Well, I think it really shows it's not just a career for you, but it's really a calling. So when did you realize that coaching was a calling for you?
About 2015, 2000, early 2016, more about 2015. I was really, really, really dissatisfied in what I was doing. I was also in the wrong place. In the nonprofit I was in was a startup and it was failing. Um, but aside from that, I was just feeling very more of the satisfaction when I was working on this one program, this one project, this one
Mhm.
thing. And that's when I started to say to myself, wait a minute, hold on. Something's got to give here. Um, so I knew I had to make a shift. I knew that I was going to have to do that anyways, but I knew that I was going to have to make a
Mm.
shift. And that's when I said to myself, okay, so wait, what is it that I
So-
love? What other skills do I have? What do I know how to do? And how can
Mhm.
I put things together and
Yes.
make it work for myself and for others? Because there's no point in doing this
Wow.
it being a selfish thing, right?
Yes.
Because if it's not going to help other people, what kind of service is it? To me, then that's not service.
Wow. Really, really impressive because you even said on average, people you help them make like at least 60,000 more than they used to. And for most people, that's really a huge, huge difference. So you're really having a huge impact, not just on the people, but their family and I believe their lineage too, right? So you are really making a big difference. Now, this is called the Leadership and Success podcast. I know success has different meaning for different people. Uh, in my opinion, many people still define success the way it was defined for them. It's not their own definition. And I know by looking at your work, maybe the definition of success that kind of change throughout your career. I guess the question for you is, how do you personally define success today, and how has that definition evolved over time?
Success to me is not just financial. To me, it's also fulfillment. I think success comes when there's a balance between the two.
Hmm.
It's hard to be successful and be happy if you're constantly chasing after how am I going to pay my next bill. But
Yes.
it's also hard to be successful and be happy if you are not able to enjoy your weekend and you say to yourself,
Mhm.
I'm already not looking forward to going to work on Monday, right?
Yes.
That's a problem because then, well, it's obvious you don't like your job, right? I mean, so something needs to give there. No one needs to live that life.
Yeah.
And I understand now today we're talking about a little bit of a different economy. We're talking about some different things here, but overall, no one needs to be that unhappy. That's not
Mhm.
fair.
Yes.
I don't believe in that. So I think that there needs to be a balance between the two and a give and take between the two.
Hmm.
And I really do believe I bring that into my coaching because I really think that that's important. You
Ah,
can't take a $60,000 raise and then say, but wait a minute, now I'm going to be working
mhm.
120 hours a week and I'm never going to see my
Yeah.
kids, right?
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
It's not worth it.
Not worth it. You're not going to be happy
Absolutely.
because if your
Yes.
child is 4 and all of a sudden they're 6 and you say to yourself,
Mm.
holy cow, how did that happen?
Yes.
You're going to hate yourself.
Well, that is a really insightful way of looking at it. Not just financial success, but also your personal fulfillment. So, like we mentioned, right? You've helped your client on average 15 to 60,000 salary increase. What do you think is the secret behind helping people unlock such transformation?
They have to really be willing to unlock what's within themselves too. It's more than what's just on that piece of paper of what's on that resume and what they can bring to the organization, but it's also unlocking what's within themselves and bringing that into the interview process and bringing that into the process because they have to be able to say, yes, I can bring this in here and I can do XYZ. I can solve this problem or makes you X amount of dollars or whatever it is that the person does. However, they also have to be able to say, but here's my boundary, right? I can do that, but I don't want to be paid $30,000 less. Or
Yes.
I also don't want to be treated terribly. So if I'm going to have to work 5 or 10 extra hours a week, I don't want to be treated like dirt.
Hmm.
Or does this mean that I have to work an extra amount of hours at all? I'm doing this to create an extra value for you. So this is
Yes.
where unlocking all of that is really important to me because it's about creating the value and not necessarily working more, but
Hmm.
about bringing your higher value and that higher self to work every day because you
Hmm.
are so fulfilled. And I
Makes
think when
sense.
you are that fulfilled and being able to bring that and being able to actually show that within a negotiation, then that person can be successful in that negotiation and get that extra amount of money.
Yes.
And I
Wow.
think that that's important because you have to be able to unlock that first within, we have to do that. That's self work first.
Hmm.
And that's where the coaching comes in. This isn't just, I learn how to say a script and I
Yes.
go in and I say the script, right? Like you could say all the right things, but if you don't believe it yourself,
Mm.
they're not going to believe it either.
Wow, that is powerful. So there is definitely a mindset to it. So how do mindset,
Hmm.
strategy, and intention work together in your coaching model?
I do a lot of mindset work with my clients, a lot. I'm a big, big believer in it because to me, there's a mirror in everything. If we can flip a mirror on almost anything. And if you don't believe in the things that you're saying in an interview, in a negotiation setting, in a networking setting, no one else is going to believe you either. I hate to say
Mm.
that, but it's the harsh truth.
Yes.
You have to be accepting of yourself and what you can do and how you can do it, and you have to want to do it
Mm.
wherever it is that you are. And you have to want to be with that person. And if you don't want to be there, they're going to people aren't stupid. I hate to say it. First of all, people aren't dumb, but most people can feel that. And so this is where doing that self work is really, really important, because you have to be comfortable with yourself. You
Yes.
have to be comfortable with the things that you're saying and what you want, and know that that's what you really want.
Mm.
Because if you're doing it just to chase a paycheck, if you're doing it, and I get it, people need paychecks right now, but if you're doing it just to chase the paycheck, if you're doing it just to chase, there's going to be a lot of disconnect. And
Mm-hmm.
this is where a lot of disconnect will come between, well, I did, X amount of interviews and this and that. Yeah, you're doing the interviews because you can, because you're good at whatever the role might be, but
Mm-hmm.
you have to actually want to be in that organization.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that is quite powerful. And talking about that, like we said, right? You've helped a whole lot of people, not just find better job, but really live better lives too. So in a way, not just a career coach, you're kind of like a life coach too, in some way. I guess the question I have for you, especially now in the market we are in, some people they apply for like hundreds of jobs, no interview, or when they get interviews, and then they feel like they may get an offer and cricket, nothing's happening. So people get discouraged quite a bit. So for those in the audience listening right now, what is your advice for people who are really seeking a new opportunity in this type of economy?
Well, first of all, you obviously don't give up, because I'm a big believer, if you're giving up on yourself, and you don't want to do that. That to me is not an option.
Yes.
Second of all, don't be afraid to ask for help, because this market is not like markets of past that you can just send out a resume and do this and do that and it would all work out. Unfortunately, this is not the same thing.
Mm.
I think this is where people are struggling and they need help and they think that they can do it on their own. And it's not like it was before. A lot of people need a lot more help. And I think because it's so tough, this is where mindset really comes in, because yes, it's hard to hear
Mhm.
the no, or it's hard to hear that, we moved on to other candidates, or, we've decided to close the
Yes.
role, or it's hard to hear nothing, right?
Mm.
It is hard to hear nothing, to know that you're doing this and you're doing it and you're doing it and you're not getting any responses. It is discouraging. It's very disheartening. But to know that you're doing the right things, and to know that you're doing many different things other than
Mhm.
just sending your resume out and just cold applying, cold applying, cold applying with the job boards, I
Yes.
think is also very important. This is where, I'm big on a holistic approach,
Mm.
because doing that holistic approach is very important. Using a little of this and a little of that,
Yes.
you know, i- it's important. I think a lot of people may be saying, well, I'm doing this worked for this person, that worked for this person. Doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
Mm. That is quite insightful. Let me ask you then. I think quite many people struggle, right, with articulating their value
Oh,
proposition. And
absolutely. That's very hard.
so, how do you help your client leader uncover their unique story?
So it's a process, right? Usually what I will do is give someone a questionnaire and work through that with them to get it onto paper. Um, and that helps to get it onto paper, but otherwise, once it's on paper, it does take quite a few coaching sessions to help them understand who they are. It will take some assessments like a strength finder to help them figure out who they are,
Hmm.
because who we were maybe 5, 10 years ago, sometimes even two, is not the same person who we are today, because we go through
True.
different things, life changes, this happens, that happens, and that's okay, right? But that, because that's just life. But we change when all of that happens. We change with that, as we should. But we I think we have the tendency to assume who we are and what we like and what our strengths are and all of that. But I think it's good to have it laid out for you on paper and show you, okay, yes, you are this, you are that, and maybe this is the type of job you should be looking for, or the type of job that you shouldn't be looking for.
Hmm.
And I think it helps to give people a sense of clarity and direction.
Yes. Well, and another thing I have also noticed, part of the reason why I do this podcast daily, I would like to put the spotlight on underrepresented minority and women. I know for most of my career, I've almost always been the one and only black person in the room, and usually there was no women at all, white, black, or of any color. Now in tech, I see more and more women, which is good, but I think we still have a lot of work to do with diversity. And I know that. You've built a global mentorship program like the Innovate 50/50 to help women rise in leadership, which is really outstanding. So, why is mentorship so critical for women advancement today?
Women, unfortunately, are dropping out of the workforce at such a rapid rate that we
Mm,
haven't seen in, I forgot how many years. I read the statistic the other day and I can't remember exactly what the number is, but it's bad. It's really bad. And a lot of that is because of the unsustainable cost of childcare. A lot of that is because, maybe we have some single moms too thrown in there. I'm sure we do, quite a few, right? And single moms don't have the advantage that married couples do, and it's tough. It's tough out there. The costs are going up and up and up. And so some of these people don't have the help that maybe others do, like family members. Some
yes.
people I know don't have family nearby, some don't have family at all. So if you don't have family to help you out, say to watch your infant or your toddler, then it's very, very tough. What do you do? Childcare just keeps going up and up and up.
Mm,
People are feeling like they're working just for childcare. Some people feel
yes.
like they're going to work just to put their child in daycare,
Mm,
and they're not even paying daycare at its full cost. They can't
wow.
even afford it. So women are dropping out, and economically that sets us backwards, right? You're not going to see women in leadership, you're not going to see women in tech, you're not going to see women in STEM, you're not going to
Yes.
we're not going to see women in boardrooms. Where we've seen women in past years, we're going to see less of them, and that is not good. Not to mention that we know that diversity initiatives have been cut back
Mm,
already. That already happened. I mean, that was already happening. So,
uh,
and that's a problem by itself as it is. So that's
mm,
already an issue. But then just to see these things that women feel like, well, I can't work. I have to stay home and take care of my child, or I just
yes.
can't work for whatever reason. It's not good. And then we have women that are sandwiched in here that are either taking care of sick parents and
Yes.
children, some that maybe can't work not because of a child, but maybe because of taking care of a parent, and
Mm,
they just can't make it work. They're having too hard of a time. This
yeah.
return to office policies didn't help, right? When you had remote work available, it was easier for women to be able to say maybe take care of a child and a parent, or both,
True.
or either or. But when you're telling them they have to be chained to a desk 5 days a week, how could they possibly do that?
Yeah, and I've noticed in my experience, and my wife has mentored me a lot about this too. Big, no, big difference between men and women. It's not always true, but just at the eye level, many times, like my daughter too, she just entered the workforce, Gen Z. They are our future. But many times, I've noticed that female, when they look at the job description, they want to be 100% qualified for the position before they go submit. For men like me, if I'm 25% qualified, I apply for it because I want to get to the interview and I know I'm gonna change the job description. I'm gonna make it whatever I want it to be in a way. So there are a lot of differences like that, even in negotiating. Like my wife, for example, you give her a job, you tell her, okay, this is your salary. yes, I accept. I'm like, no, 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 you have to give me more money than that. Just gotta be a range, right? So there are a lot of things I have noticed between men and women that might put them in at a disadvantage in the job market in general. I guess it's not always the case, but no, salary negotiation, promotion, the imposter syndrome too, which again it affects men and women, but I think probably women more than men, and also navigating kind of this bias in the workplace. I guess my question for you is, how do you coach women leaders to kind of navigate this environment and complex issue in the workforce?
Some women aren't good at navigating these kinds of politics, and some are better than others. I hate to say
Yeah.
it, but it's all about figuring out what's happening inside the actual workplace and how to get around the issue. So it's very, I don't want to say it's a very odd thing, but it's very much trying to figure out what is happening and then try to teach them how to understand and how to assess and how to navigate these issues, because
Mm.
they have to have an appropriate response. I have some women that would go and tell someone off, and then I have some others that are very afraid to speak up.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
I run the gamut there, but
Hmm.
you also have to stand up for yourself, right? You have to
Sure.
say what's right. You have to do what's right. You can't let people take advantage of you. You can't um you can't accept what's less. If you wouldn't let someone else in your life treat you that way, it shouldn't
Yes.
happen at work.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's giving them that reality and that gut check.
Yes.
Would you let so and so in your life treat you like this? Well, no. Okay, so why does your boss get to?
Hmm.
And they'll look at me like, hey,
Yes.
hey now.
So that is powerful, and hopefully we've raised our both of our daughter to do just that, because I mean I can't believe it's 2025, right? And there's definitely still a bias against women in this
Oh,
society.
it's
Women make a lot
disgusting.
less money than men for same
Yeah,
job, same experience, same background, and
it's
that's just not
gross.
not right. But well, yeah, I guess no. Sometimes I kind of joke, no, if it wasn't for our dog, I would be the only male in my household. But yeah, so I guess I am a trend feminist in my house. We definitely need to do better as a country. So let me talk about emerging tech for a second. I have looked at your work and background. You've recently worked as a career coach, AI trainer, right? Training AI model to recognize harmful and inaccurate career advice. How was that experience for you?
Very interesting, and I did enjoy it. Um, it was basically, all I'm really allowed to say, sorry, is just that really reading through what they gave us and trying
Hmm.
to decipher between good advice and bad advice.
Yes.
And what we really want to see is the bad advice coming off of AI, if at all possible. Um, very cool experience, very good, very enlightening, and I really enjoyed it. I would do it
Yes.
again.
Wow.
But I really do like to see that bad advice coming off of AI, because people who are choosing to try to use AI to navigate maybe a very specific question or just
Yes.
one very specific issue for something quick, you don't want them to see some of these really bad bad things that I was
Yes.
reading that you would,
Wow.
wow.
So we definitely need human oversight for sure. And by the way, a LinkedIn user saying thank you. I am monitoring LinkedIn as well, enjoying the discussion. And if you have a question for Coach Valerie, please type it in the comment as well. So because no, there is a growing fear that AI might replace human, or you seem to take a different view. What's your perspective?
We're still going to need when it comes to coaching, we're still going to need people. I think when
Yes.
there might be some jobs, right? Like some very, I, I hate to say lower level jobs, but there really
Hmm.
might be some other jobs, right? Some very repetitive.
Hmm.
I don't want to say lower level. That's very demeaning, but
Yes.
some repetitive jobs, very redundant jobs like data entry and things like that. Maybe you're going to see start to go over to AI, because if they can toss that over to AI, then I think that they probably will. some of these larger companies that you're seeing doing layoffs like Amazon and things like that,
Yes.
they're probably going to start to play with some of that. I hate to say it, but
Mhm.
the large players are usually the ones in the market that start to do it first.
Okay.
So, they'll probably, I hate to say that they're going to show us the way, but they're probably going to show us the way, unfortunately.
Yes.
Um,
Hmm.
Usually Amazon does and people follow, but
Yes.
they're probably going to be the ones that are probably going to start using AI for things like order taking and things like that, right? I mean, so I think things like data entry and things like that, you probably
Yes.
will see a change, but
Hmm.
things that are human, hiring, HR, coaching,
Yes.
there are things that I think, we're going to need people.
Hmm. Probably.
Sales. There are parts of sales where you can insert AI into the process, like before you get to a person, but you are going to ultimately need a person to close a deal. Um,
Makes
you're not,
sense.
otherwise, you're going to have buyer's remorse across the board at some point,
Yeah.
I think.
Hmm.
Like I said, you can probably insert before a person, like on a website and things like that, right? Like we're starting to see all that already.
Yes.
But there are certain things that are going to stay human centric, um, here and there. But there
Hmm.
are some other things I think we need to start thinking about how to use it as a tool,
Yes.
and I think that we need to start thinking about it that way. Um, Honestly, I'm not sure that some of these companies are thinking about it properly when they're thinking about how can I cut my head count? I don't
Hmm.
agree with that.
Yes. Yes. I guess the last question I will ask you for this first segment is how should today's professional then future proof their career in a AI driven economy? But then the other side of that is how can um, maybe leaders, right, leverage AI ethically to support growth, inclusion, and equity, which I agree with you. That's really the way artificial intelligence should be used, not to replace people, but to help them do their work more efficiently. How do you see that?
So I think people need to start thinking about how, if they haven't already, and if they haven't, they really need to do it now. Is start thinking about how AI is going to be integrated into their industry, how it affects their industry, how it could be used in their industry. And like how I had just mentioned in sales, right? Like using it like on a website,
Hmm.
to pick up visitors and things like that, right? Like, so that type of thing, right? People need to start learning that and how it can be used, because I think that can be a competitive advantage,
Hmm.
you know, but if people haven't gotten there, they need to start learning all of that. However, leaders, stop. Seriously, they need to stop. And I know Amazon's already doing it. Salesforce, I think, already laid off for AI use too. They need to stop cutting their headcount
Yes.
for AI use like this.
Hmm.
Start using your people how to use AI in their business and in their roles instead.
Yeah.
Use it
Makes
how to
sense.
make it a competitive advantage
Hmm.
instead of, hey, we're going to cut 30,000 people or whatever the heck the number is, and we're going to
Yeah.
save on salaries, and we're going to save on insurance, and we're going to save on retirement
Mhm.
and whatever, right? Instead of doing it that way, which I don't
Yeah.
agree with, because people still need to be employed,
True.
you teach them, have workshops, do things like that, right?
Hmm.
Show them the way, help them, teach them how to use it. Don't leave them to their own devices.
Yes.
Teach them how it can be used in their position and what
Hmm.
they can do to leverage it as a tool.
True. And also, I have seen some recent report where some of those companies now are trying to hire people back because just having AI doing everything just doesn't work as well as they thought it
No,
would.
because AI is not
Yeah.
perfect. I mean, we both know this. You're smiling,
Yeah.
and I don't want to laugh, but
Yes.
because it's causing people pain. But we both know this. AI isn't perfect. If you type something into ChatGPT, okay, it may give you something, but you still have to proofread it, you still have to edit it,
Yes.
and you still have to do work with it.
True.
So you can't use it like it's your copywriter.
Hmm.
Um, you still there, it doesn't mean that it's perfect.
Yeah, we go back to human oversight, like you mentioned
Oversight.
earlier. Yeah.
So that's why, inserting it like it's a tool and teaching them the way on how you want it used in that
Yes.
particular role is okay. And that should be the way, because now you still have human oversight.
Yes.
Going all nutty with it and saying,
Mm,
I'm going to cut and I'm going to line my pocket with it,
yes.
CEOs, take a note. Don't. I'm not afraid. Somebody's going to come at me.
Yes.
Um,
Speak the truth,
I'm going
please.
to have nasty email by the end of the day. But
Yes. No, this
you,
is important because
but
it is
but
affecting
it's
our societies
it
right now.
really is, and because these poor folks still need to put food on their table and a roof over their heads at the end of the day,
Yeah.
and and they have children to feed, and so it's not fair. But not to mention career goals and have a life. Not to mention that, but
Yes.
you don't do that, because then there's going to come a time where they're going to go, oops, this
Mm,
experiment didn't work. And we're all going to sit
yes.
here and say, huh, you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
You
That.
think that didn't work? No, really?
Yeah, I definitely get your point. Again, another reason why I host this leadership and success podcast, because I really feel like in this 21st century, leadership skills are really really key. Because even AI, if you really have leadership skills, you can work with people, influence them, be able to lead organization project. It's going to be very very difficult to replace you. So hopefully, the people are listening, they are learning, like you say, getting to get to learn how to use AI, ChatGPT, or whatever platform out there. So I was looking on the chat. So Joe is the one who's grateful for everything you're saying so far. Also, Lori, she says, I want to thank you both for your perspective and experience. So Joe and
You're
Lori,
very
please
welcome.
let us know where you are joining from, what city, state, or country, and if you have a question for Coach Valerie. All right, let's switch over to the second half of the show. We're going to be talking more about leadership. I guess one of the first question I would like to ask you is, what do you think is the greatest lesson you have ever learned?
Ooh, greatest lesson I've ever learned.
Yes, life, leadership, career.
Business isn't easy.
Hmm. Business is not easy.
It's
Okay.
not easy, but you have to be motivated to keep going.
Hmm. Wow, that's powerful. Be motivated. So let
You
me
have
let
to
me
be
let me ask
motivated,
you
but it
then.
wasn't meant to be easy, because if it was meant to be easy, wouldn't everybody do it?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. From my experience, I know 21 years ago, I went to boot camp in the Navy. It was very, very easy to be motivated at boot camp because you were pretty much cut off from the world and you did whatever the Navy told you to do. How to dress, what to wear, where to be. Everything was really, lined up for you.
For you.
I think prior to me joining the Navy, I was obese. I was a couch potato, but I lost all of the weight. I started running, and I mean, it was just amazing. I was the healthiest, the strongest I've ever been in my life. So, how do you coach people right now who are listening to us who feel like they might be alone? I know they are not alone in their situation. There are many, many other people in the same group or bucket, but they don't know that. They feel completely demoralized. Like I keep applying for these jobs, but nothing is coming up. They get depressed. What would you tell them to kind of get them motivated?
When I hear these things, I sometimes it makes me want to cry for them. Seriously,
Yeah.
I get so emotional over it. You're not alone.
Mm,
Please reach out to somebody, anybody, even if it's not me. It doesn't have to be me, for help, please,
yes.
because I think the more we think that we're alone and the worse we let our mindset go and make ourselves feel, and
Mm,
we say that we're not good or that we're alone and that we can't do this and we want to give up, we're either going to give up on ourselves or the worse things get. We have to know that there is some help available. We have to know that there is something out there for us. We have to know that it won't go on for forever. And I know that so sounds so Pollyanna sometimes, but it isn't. Nothing is easy. Nothing worthwhile is easy.
Yes.
we're not worth giving up on. We have
Mm.
to keep going. We are worth it. And so we have to be able to say that at the end of the day. But I think when we feel at our worst, we can't see that,
Yes.
unfortunately, right? It's hard to see that.
Mm-hmm.
But we need somebody to help us and to get us out of that
Mm.
and to be able to say, listen, you're worth it. You have to keep doing this no matter how hard it might be. And you are going to get there. But I think sometimes it's about taking what's in here and
Yes.
saying, okay, what am I grateful for? What do I have? I may not have everything,
Mm-hmm.
and reprogramming that a little bit
To get started. Wow.
to get started. Because honestly, the
Powerful.
more negativity we plug into it, the more it goes down, the worse it
Yes.
is. I hate to say it. You can literally, there are actual images of brain scans floating around on the internet that you can find
Yes.
that will show you the more negative you are, the more the inside of your
Mm-hmm.
brain changes.
True.
The way it lights
Wow.
up, it actually does change.
Hmm. That's really powerful, and that's also part of the reason why I always start the show every day with a moment of gratitude. Because sometimes you can just look at everybody else, feel like I don't have this, but what do you have, and can you start with where you are right now? That's really one thing I love about the US of A. Right, I was born in Africa. I've lived in Europe, and I am in America by choice. But America is the only country in the world. In the US, maybe I've traveled across America and around the entire world, but I don't know of any other country that has a dream. America is the only country with the American dream. You can start at the very bottom, and before you know it, you are at the very, very top. You can be Arnold Schwarzenegger. You come to this country, you can barely speak English. You only have $20 to your name, and become number one in movie production. Become number one in bodybuilding. You become the governor of the fourth largest economy in the world, only in America. So I believe everything is possible, and I don't want to give false hope, but I want people to know that in this country, anything is possible. Keep your mind positive, and hopefully this show is helping with that a little bit. So we have Kim Keating. She says, "I agree, Valerie. Nothing worthwhile is easy." Thank you so much, Kim. Let us know where you are coming from, what city, state, and if you have a question for Valerie.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this, Coach Valerie. What do you think is the greatest leadership advice you've ever received?
Greatest leadership advice. Because I've received quite a few.
Or which one comes to mind?
I'm thinking.
And I guess there are also many ways to define leadership. I guess what is your best definition of leadership?
I'm thinking along the lines of something about leading ourselves first and
Mm,
figuring out who we are as a
selfish.
leader first.
Yeah.
That's what's coming to my mind right now. I know I had someone, and I can't remember his exact words, but one of the things that he told me was to figure out who I wanted to be as a leader first
Powerful.
before, because my definition of a leader may not be your definition of the
Yeah.
leader, right? And
Yeah.
who I wanted to be as a leader may not be who you want to be as a leader, right? Because
Wow.
self
Cool.
leadership can be very different.
Yes.
Um, and that's not a bad thing, right? It just
Hmm.
means that we have different conceptions of it, and
Yes.
being able to find that for yourself is important to figuring out, what do you want to do with it? Who do you want to be? Where do you want
Mm,
to go? What direction do you want to take with that?
powerful.
And
Wow.
even when I talk about leadership with people, that's one of the first things that I always discuss too. Is, well, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the leader? Like we'd say leader, right? And we think about like the leader of Microsoft and like
Yes.
Amazon, and right, like we have these notions in our head all the
Hmm.
time, right? And a lot of them are men. I hate to say it. There's
Yes.
not enough that come into mind that are women.
Mm,
Um, we just have all these misconceptions sometimes. So I think,
yes.
figuring that out for ourselves and who we want to be, self leadership can be very important.
Hmm.
It could be the smallest thing, or it could be the biggest thing, and there's no judgment in that, right? It's just
That's
who
so
you are and who
powerful.
you want to be.
Yeah, because actually last week, I believe it was episode 94, I had Elizabeth Lutaro. She wrote the book on self leadership, leading yourself. Everybody watching, you should go back and listen to that podcast. That is so true, man. Powerful. So, what do you think is the secret to your success?
I've had mentors, I've
Yes,
had coaches, yep, I've
powerful.
had my own that have helped me along the way. I can't even say that I've gotten here by myself. I'd
Yes,
be lying through my teeth.
yes. Wow,
I'd be
powerful.
lying through my teeth.
Yes, it really
But
takes a village, doesn't it?
yeah,
We don't get you alone.
it takes a village to get you here
Yes.
because without that, I don't know where I'd be
Mm,
sometimes, honestly. I have my own that help me I can't say every single day, but
yes.
they are here. And there's been some that I've worked with longer than others.
Mm,
And, you know, I don't regret 1 minute of it
yes.
because
That's powerful. Wow. And also I think just now this may not be true for everyone, but generally speaking, in my experience, men, especially in the military, tend to be more arrogant, less humble than women. They don't want to accept the fact or ask for help. Like I know this from experience, especially when I was junior enlisted and a junior officer. Before I really knew what to do. Like you would even get hurt during a military exercise or something, and then act like, no, I am a man, I have testosterone. No, it is okay. I can take it. We would say stupid things like, pain. I guess no, no, makes you better or help you, whatever, stronger, and all of this nonsense instead of just asking for help when you need it. But yes, please ask for help. And Kim is coming to us from Washington D.C. So what are you learning right now?
what am I learning
Mhm.
right now?
Leaders are
I'm
kind of
always learning something new every day.
what is your main focus now in your learning?
Um, right now, one of the things that I'm focused on actually is sales
Oh,
training. That's one of the things I'm learning. Um, I'm actually doing a little bit more of a deep dive in my own leadership again,
mhm.
too.
Yeah.
Always doing that. Every once in a while, I always want to do that because I think that that's important.
Yes.
Um,
That is powerful. Yeah.
I think I think we can't get too
Yes.
comfy with who we are,
Yes.
because we get to a certain point, right? We grow, we grow, we grow, we grow, we grow, and then
Mhm.
we sit there, right? We
Sure.
start to get stagnant.
Yes.
And so we don't want to do that, right? Because then we get stagnant and then we stop growing.
Hmm.
And that's not good.
That is so true, and I like what you say about sales. I think everybody, even if you're not a salesman, need to take sales training because you're really going to learn how to see things not from your own perspective, but the perspective of the people you want to influence. Now, even when you're looking for a job, in a way, you are a salesman, right? Of your own skills, your background. You want them to hire you and not someone else. So you have to show them what they get by making the offer to you and not to somebody else. So sales is so key. So how how has failure shaped your life? Everybody looks at all of the successes you've had. I have this coin, it has failure and success, two sides of the same coin. How has failure shaped your life?
You wouldn't know it, but a lot, right? Because people don't see that.
Hmm.
That's not the stuff you see on the internet,
Yeah.
right? Long time ago, um, I was actually told, hey, you don't fit into this role.
What?
We actually don't like you.
What?
We actually don't think you fit into this organization.
Oh,
And I was there maybe 2, 3 weeks.
wow.
And I said, okay, bye.
Hmm.
And that was their nice way of saying, you can go now.
Yeah.
But, I think when we hear things like that, either we can take it to heart, which I kind of did at that point, or we can just say, okay, well, wait a minute, who do we want to be and what is it that we want to get from that?
Hmm.
Which I eventually did. It took me a little bit of time.
Yes.
I was pretty young, but you know, I learned a lot from that
Hmm.
because it also showed me that sometimes you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes.
right? And I was definitely in the wrong place. I didn't belong there. I definitely didn't belong there because they didn't appreciate anything I had to say.
Hmm.
It was just the wrong fit. And
Yeah.
sometimes we do that.
Yeah. Wow, that is
I
powerful.
So, and I've had clients that have had the same issue, right? Like, oh, I thought this job was one thing and it's another.
Mhm.
Well, hi, I've been there before too. I get it.
Yes.
Someone recruited me right into that job and I walked the heck right out of it
Mm.
because I said, no, if this is what you think of me, then I'm sorry.
Yes.
Um,
Wow, I'm really sorry that happened to you, but you reminded me of a couple of things. One, I think Oprah was the first one I heard say this: when people show you who they truly are, right? Believe them. I think Maya Angelou was the
yeah,
original person who
yeah,
said that. And then also another one of my mentor, Jim Rohn, said, "No, you are not a tree. Move. But you don't like where you are. You don't have to stay there
no.
forever." So it's really important for people, self leadership, to value themselves as well. And another one of my mentors said, right, you really want to be in a place where you are celebrated, not just tolerated. I think it really makes a big difference, and how you can have a setback in life but use it for a comeback, come even stronger and better, and really
And it's
have fulfillment
And
as
if it
well.
takes a little while,
Yeah.
that's okay, right? But I think the whole point is, do you stay on the ground and stay there,
Yes.
right? Or do you choose to get up, dust your butt off, and say, okay, so I'm going to keep going, and here's
Yes.
what I'm going to do, right?
It takes a lot of
I sat on
courage.
the ground for a little tiny bit, but then I said to myself,
Yes.
this isn't going to work for me.
Mm. Yeah.
I have to keep going. I have to. They don't get to define who I
Man,
am,
you show
and
so
they don't.
much courage and self leadership and integrity. It's not easy to do, but yeah, sometimes that's the only thing you need to do. Uh, wow. Okay. Who are some of your mentors, some of your thought leaders, people you follow that we should know about?
Oh, there's quite a few. Somebody that I've done coaching with for quite a while, who actually helped me start my
Hmm.
business, who I'm actually very, very fond of. I don't know if he's listening or not, but his name is Michael Mapes.
Mm.
He actually helped me get started. We've been friends for over
Wow.
a decade,
That's
but he actually helped me get started.
that's very awesome.
He's, I think, amazing. And I know a lot of people don't know his name, and I think they should because he had a lot of patience for me,
Mm.
when I didn't have a lot of patience for myself. I was in a tough spot when I was
Wow.
leaving that job. He had a lot of patience with me and helped show me the way, and he still does.
Wow, that is
Um,
awesome. Is he on LinkedIn by any chance?
yep.
Okay, if you don't mind, share me his LinkedIn profile. I want people to follow him, because people are like that. They are really the unsung heroes, is what I call them. Like myself, who had my
Oh, he's amazing, and he doesn't I don't know if he knows it or not,
yeah.
but I'll send you his.
We need to sell, and if you are listening to us and you have somebody like that, please pick up the phone and call them and just say thank you. Because I think there are so many people who have helped me personally. I don't even Some of them, I don't even know their name. I don't even think I will be able to pay them back, right? So the way I try to pay them back is by paying it forward, trying to do for somebody else what they did for me. And you're right, sometimes they they're really like an angel that God sends your way, and they don't even we realize it. So, man, we're already running out of time. Can you stay with me for 10 more minutes, please?
I sure
Thank you,
can.
thank you, thank you. Man, we have so much to talk about. If you had three people to have dinner with, they could be alive, dead, or even mythical figures. Three people,
Oh,
who would you choose and why?
I think one would be Maya Angelou
Hmm.
because always thought she was so insightful. Um, Another one, who I always, for some reason, for a long time, always admired was Eleanor
Hmm.
Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Um,
She has done a lot for equity and diversity in this country. Most people don't know that. But yeah.
and one that's not related to anything, but if you know me, you're gonna laugh out loud. Mariska Hargitay.
Mm. Yeah. I can imagine the conversation, and why.
just think she's so awesome.
Yes.
I love listen, I'm such a Law and Order SVU fan. It's
Yes.
hilarious.
Yes.
But I just think she's so freaking awesome.
Right.
But she also does a lot for women. She
Mm.
really does. People who don't watch the show may not know how
Yes.
much she does for women
Mm.
and how
It's
much she
amazing.
does for domestic violence, and I admire her so much for
Yes.
what she does.
No, that is quite
I'd love to
powerful.
be a fly on the wall near that woman. I think she's incredible.
Yes. Uh, and I really like that you mentioned Eleanor Roosevelt because also she's one of the primary reason why women were allowed to get into the military. Because back then, just like blacks, it wasn't authorized, but she really helped change that.
Yep.
It's really powerful. So, what are some of the books that you are reading or that you would recommend to the audience? I think I asked you earlier. You mentioned this one.
Yep. I'm reading that one right now, Rich Relationships. That is a great book. If someone has not read that or is not reading it, they should be. I think it's very powerful.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm all about relationships and building relationships for business, life,
Mm,
career. I think everything is about networking and relationships. So I think that's a great
that's
one.
powerful. Like one of my mentors
Someone
said,
actually recommended that to me,
mhm,
and I've been reading it slowly over
wow,
time. I think that's great.
because my mentor told me, right, your network is your net worth.
Network.
Because many times it's who you know, not what you know. Okay, what about
Yeah,
this one? Better and better.
that one's great too. Someone actually sent this one to me too. It's about creating a culture of purpose and engagement, and this is great. This is actually written by a lot of people may not people don't know who Bob Stiller is. He's the guy who makes Green Mountain Coffee.
Wow.
Um, so he's actually very much known for this. So this is a great book.
Very good.
This is another one that I highly recommend people read.
And asked you which movie you would recommend. You said this one, House of Dynamite, available on
I
Netflix.
just saw that over the weekend. So that's why I said that. It's still in my head
Yes.
because it is wow.
Mm,
If you haven't seen it, I mean, it has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about. But when you see it,
yes.
you will be out of your mind
Wow.
and you will be on the edge of your seat.
Well, I can tell you, I think I was a lieutenant junior grade one. My CEO, Commander Scott, I still remember him, one of the best CEO I've ever had. He taught me to watch movies and look for leadership lessons in them. And I think this is about the nuclear code. I put it on my list, Netflix list yesterday. I haven't watched it yet, but I probably will this weekend. So, yeah,
I think you'll probably like it. I'd
it's like
love to know what you think
something.
of it when you watch that.
Yeah. Because I know at
But
that level you do have to make some decision, and also know are you going to respond, and how much are you going to respond. There's really a lot of things in play.
there's a lot of leadership lessons in
Yeah.
now because it is about how you respond, how quickly you respond,
Hmm.
what type of response, and then obviously when you do respond, if you do respond, you're responsible for all these people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wow, cool. Okay, is there maybe a song, a book, or a movie that would be your life's theme or anthem? What
Ooh.
would it be?
Hmm.
In anything?
You're gonna
Hmm.
laugh. So I have the tendency to be a perfectionist, right? So
Okay.
there's a song that comes to my mind, and yeah, it's a little bit of an older song,
Okay.
but how about Simply the Best by Tina Turner?
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I love Tina. Yes. Yeah, I guess I used to be a perfectionist too. Now I think my core value has changed to excellence. I can't always achieve that, but I try. Uh,
No,
because
but it just
yeah,
this song sticks in my head
yes,
from a long time ago when I was in college.
that's powerful
Um,
message.
it was always a powerful message,
Yes,
and if anyone knows where I did my undergrad, this
yeah.
song was always played at the basketball games.
Wow, that is really powerful. It also reminds me of what Martin Luther King said, right? Be the best, no matter who you are. It's
Yep.
yeah, powerful. Okay, so when you wake up in the morning, if you had a magic wand and you could solve one problem, which problem would it be?
Hmm. I think it's a cross between poverty and the economic disadvantages we have in this country.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, especially in places where I live, Silicon Valley, it's really amazing. We have more billionaires than any other place on earth, but we still have homeless people in San Francisco. It's really, really sad to see so much money, so much wealth, but then so much dire and dignified existence of human beings. And I'm really surprised we haven't been able to solve that problem yet. I think in California, we spent what, $24 billion. We don't even know where the money went, and we still have that problem. It's like we've got to do something about this. But okay, thanks for sharing. So if you had one and only one day to live, what would you have liked your final contribution to be?
Can I be president for a day?
Please.
No, I mean, can I be president of the United States for that one day?
Okay, that's it. Okay. Be positive. Good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would want to do something really good for people.
Yes.
But I would love to be president of the United States for one day and change a whole bunch of laws, and then,
Yeah.
maybe I'd die happy.
Yeah.
I'd love to do something good. I would love to do something
Yes.
good, because honestly, that would just make my heart sing. I'd
Powerful.
love to know that I did something good for people.
Yes. Yeah, and I still believe America is the greatest country that's ever been. But I guess some people, we all have some agency. We may not do things that will impact the entire country or the entire state or region, but you can impact the person to your right, the person to your left. So doing something good for whoever you can when you can, I think, is admirable. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, we are coming to the end of the show. Thank you so much for giving me more time. What can we do to add value back to you? You have been so generous with your time. We really appreciate you sharing your wisdom. Add value back to you, Coach Valerie.
Please feel free to follow and connect with me on LinkedIn. Please feel free to go to my website. I have plenty there. I have blogs there. If you'd like to send me a message through there, if you need to schedule a call, you can do that through my services page. I have downloads and ebooks on there. If you'd like a copy of my book, you can send it. Well, it's not my book. I'm a co-author. But if you'd like a copy of it, you can let me know. I can always get you a copy directly. I need to set up a store on my site. If you know of someone who think that, can benefit from my help, please feel free to send them my way. I really hate to see people suffer.
Yes.
This is not, there's too much time for suffering. There's too much suffering right now. This is not a time to continue to go through that.
Yes.
So if you know of someone, pass the message on, share messages.
Thank you.
Always, and always feel free to sign up to my newsletter too. That's actually in my LinkedIn. You could do that as well. But feel free to share those messages and be a positive ray of light for someone.
Wow. Thank you.
If not, do it for yourself and do it for someone else. Like you said, you always can be a positive agent for the person to your right and the person to your left. So let's try to do that, because we need it right now.
Wow. And thank you so much for reminding me. So your book, Ready, Connect, Grow, Grow Your Business Through the Power of Your Connection, compiled by Connie Whitman, and you are one of the co-authors. So they can reach out to you and you can send them a signed copy of the book. So that's wonderful.
Yes, I can.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Is there any question I should have asked you, Coach Valerie, that I haven't asked yet before we close the show?
Not that I can think of.
Fantastic. Okay, let me ask you the most important question, I believe, of the podcast. If you could go back and give a piece of advice to your 17-year-old self standing at the edge of this incredible career you've had, what would you say to 17-year-old Valerie?
I think I probably would have told her that everything would be fine.
Wow.
I think my 17-year-old self was very anxious. And I think, that she probably didn't know where she was going to go with her life. But
Yes.
I think, telling her that everything was going to be okay would have been probably
Mhm.
very smart.
Well, I am really amazed because I've spoken to hundreds of people on the show, and most of them say just that to their 17-year-old is going to be fine. Because I remember myself, no, I was 17 years old. I came to this country, an immigrant, hardly speaking English, huge, huge dream, but I had no idea how to go from point A to point B. Yeah, knowing that everything would just work out is powerful. And no, no, everything you've talked about. You talked about servant leadership. You talked about not giving up. You talked about asking for help when you need it. About hiring a coach. Yeah, if you just keep looking up and keeping your mind positive, yeah, I believe things will be fine. Okay, to end the show, this is going to be really, really, really quick, right? I'm gonna ask you some question, lightning round, rapid fire. So don't take too long to think. Let me ask you, what is one word that defines great leadership? One word.
Great
Hmm.
leadership. The word that comes to my mind would probably be
Okay, seven.
servants.
Very good. Morning routine or practice that keeps you grounded.
Gratitude.
Okay. Book or quote that change your life, or
Book.
or a quote or something
Mm,
that positively impacted you, or poem or something, or music.
oh, now you've got me. You
What
caught me.
what about simply the best that motivates you, inspires you?
That always does
Not
for some reason.
yes. Very good. Okay, we're gonna use that. Who inspire you the most today?
You.
Really? Wow, this is the
Yeah.
second time someone has told me that. I can't believe it. Okay, thank you. I do appreciate that. Okay, finish the sentence. Leadership is
Selfless.
very good. All right, what did you want to be when you were a kid?
Veterinarian.
Wow, you are not a veterinarian today. That's interesting. Okay,
That's because I hate snakes.
yeah, yeah. I've when I came to this country initially, I wanted to be a medical doctor, but I've seen a lot of people through the pre med program. The first time they saw blood, they're like, that's not for me. I cannot handle it. But okay, what are three adjectives that describe you as a child?
As a
Mhm.
child, probably fresh,
Okay,
obnoxious,
one more.
um, feisty.
Okay, what about as an adult?
Feisty,
Okay, consistent there.
grounded,
Okay, one more.
funny.
I think inspirational too. Okay, this is
Oh, thank
the
you.
very end, the last question. And thanks so much for giving us 15 minutes more. What is one word that represent our shared experience on this podcast today? What word comes to mind?
Motivational.
Thank you so much. I think I am just grateful. Thank you so much for being on the show and helping my audience, especially those looking for a job who need a career coach or want to
Thank you.
still be motivated, inspired to keep going. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Oh, let me ask you one last one really quick. You are a top voice on LinkedIn. Some people always ask me, why do you think LinkedIn selected you as a top voice?
My feistiness. I'm not
Yes,
afraid to speak my mind.
good, good. I can see that. I think you are a, great coach. You would have been a great drill sergeant in the Navy too. But thank you so much, Coach Valerie. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Hi. All right, everyone. That was Coach Valerie, and thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, we added value to you. And please keep typing in the comment where you are watching us from, what city, what state, what you are grateful for, and thank you for those who were engaged during this live episode. I'm going to be back this afternoon with let me see, do I have a picture here? Yes, I'm gonna be with Lieutenant Commander Amy Forsyth this afternoon. I believe it's at 2:30 p.m. California time. So 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I look forward to seeing you there. And thanks again for watching the Leadership and Success podcast. Bye now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Leadership and Success podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If today's episode added value to your leadership journey, be sure to subscribe, share, and join us again for more wisdom nuggets on how to lead better and achieve greater success. Remember, leadership is the most critical skill of our time. The world will always need leaders to inspire others, drive innovation, and execute meaningful strategy. So why not count yourself among the bold leaders shaping the 21st century? Until next time, stay inspired, stay committed, and keep leading with excellence.